Following video is not an attack on the King James Only Bible, but instead it is an attempt to enlighten Bible readers so they aren't bullied by the emotional and brutish arguments of those who insist on exalting the King James Version to an elite status while refusing to address blatant problems with the translation in an honest manner. So the King James, authorized King James Bible, calls Satan Lucifer in Isaiah 14:12. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? But modern translations call him morning star. How you have fallen from heaven, O star of the morning, son of the dawn. You have been cut down to the earth, you who have weakened the nations. That was the New American Standard Bible. Others just come out and called Satan morning star in this point. Some Christians freak out over this, claiming modern translations make Satan out to be Jesus because they view Jesus as the morning star, and rightfully so, as that is what he calls himself. I, Jesus, have sent mine angel to testify unto these things in the churches. I am the root and the offspring of David, and the bright and morning star. That was from the King James. So to Christians hearing this for the first time, it may sound like a horrible mistake made by the modern translations. And many Christians run with this passage as evidence of the horrible translations being produced in modern times, until you actually look behind the translations and realize Lucifer is a Latin word dropped into the Hebrew scriptures instead of using an English translation of the Hebrew. Here's Isaiah 14:12 in Latin. Now, I'm going to butcher it completely, and I'm sure you more than likely don't read Latin either. However, you'll surely recognize the word Lucifer in the text. Quomodo, Cicidis, di Calo, Lucifer, qui main oribus corruptis in terram qui vulnerabilis gentes. And yeah, that's my version of the Latin, but Lucifer is contained in the Latin. You can actually recognize it because it's spelt the same way as the English version. Now, I've already mentioned how a Latin word shouldn't occur in an English translation of Hebrew. But there's something more astonishing when one realizes that Isaiah 14:12 was not the only place Lucifer was used in the Latin translation. Just as modern translations have done, the word Lucifer also describes Jesus Christ. That's found in 2 Peter 1:19 of the Latin translation of the Holy Bible. Let's take a quick look at the King James, the NASB, and the Latin to illustrate this. We have also a more sure word of prophecy, whereunto ye do well, that ye take heed, as unto a light that shineth in a dark place, until the day dawn, and the day star arise in your hearts. King James. So we have a prophetic word, made more sure, to which you do well to pay attention, as to a lamp shining in a dark place, until the day dawns and the morning star arises in your hearts. NASB. Et habemus fermion propheticum sermium Q bene faticius adentes quas lucernae lucente in caliginoso loco dono dies incus ket et Lucifer untel in curribus vestris. The fact that those who claim King James superiority because it has retained the word Lucifer are doing the very same thing as the modern translations, but in a different language, which somehow feels like a deceptive way to fool English readers into declaring Satan as the morning star every time they call him Lucifer. There's an idea that Lucifer would want to hide this, but let's face it, Satan would not want to not be called the morning star. He would love to slander Jesus in this way. In an effort to shield the King James from criticism, many King James onlyists insist that Lucifer was Satan's name before Satan's fall from heaven. And though I don't doubt that Satan likely had another name before he became Satan, which means adversary, or adversary of God, it makes absolutely no sense that Satan would have had a Latin name in the midst of all the Jewish names used in the scriptures. This is nothing more than a desperate attempt of King James onlyists to explain away an obvious flaw in the King James translation. There's nothing to support their claim in Scripture, and Lucifer as a name didn't even become a consideration until the Latin translations of the Hebrew. Overall, It's a senseless argument. I mean, who cares what you call Satan? He's Satan. I would never get involved in this if not for the hypocrisy of the brutish and bullying King James onlyists. When they accuse others of reading Satan's fake holy Bibles and they use this argument as evidence, well, that's when I stand up and I say, hey, you realize using Lucifer to identify Satan is no different than calling a morning star. I mean, get real, get honest, and let's move on. Well, until next time, happy Jesus Day. God bless, and peace out.